Jimmy, here we are, episode 5, the Risky Business Show with Dave Risk. Today we have the absolutely fantastic Jimmy James on the program. Dimitri, thank you for being here.
Pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Oh man.
Except for tomorrow, I'm busy, and the day after.
Well, I had you booked, but okay, we'll have to reschedule. So, full disclosure, I've known Jimmy since I'm about 17 or 18 years old.
I must have been around 11 or 12 by then, right?
Thank you. I know. I'm looking.
Since there's a slight
I know I'm
age
looking rough.
difference
I know it's like it's. And just an absolutely fantastic guitar player and singer, Montreal legend, I think. And really happy to have you here, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a while. As we were saying, coming up in the elevator, last time we saw each other was at Gary Sharp's
Memorial.
Yeah. And that was like a while back. How many years?
That was, I can't count that far back.
No, it's been a while. But Gary Sharp, G sharp.
G sharp, the bar G sharp, just happened to be after his name, not a musical note.
That's right, which is today Barfly.
Yes.
This is where we met at the Blues Jam Sessions. I was a young whippersnapper. So tell us a bit about Gary and G Sharp before we go on because that was a really special place.
Yeah, it was. For some reason, Gary was a total freak for blues, Chicago blues, and somehow he was American. So somehow he used to manage to get Chicago people, like Pinetop Perkins, all these big names to come up and play G sharp, and they would stay for a week or sometimes 2 weeks and hang out and play. And I remember the people at the Jazz Fest were all freaking out because they couldn't get them.
But
right. Gary had him playing in this little place.
That's right.
Yeah. And he had, like I was telling you, he had no rhythm. Like the band was playing, he's like completely off, and his ears were, musical notes didn't mean much.
Yeah.
But he was a total freak for blues.
He loved the blues.
And he loved it, and he kind of like, created that atmosphere in G sharp for everybody. And we used to play there almost 2-3 nights a week, almost every week.
And I would say it was like a legitimate juke joint. I'm like real blues place.
Yeah, it was.
So I think I was lucky to find that place and Gary and all these people I got to meet Pinetop Perkins that one time he came in, which was crazy.
I know.
And saw a lot of the other acts that went there, Jimmy Rogers.
Yeah. There's a list
the list
of well-known
exactly.
people.
It's like you can't believe you're seeing these people in this place. Anyway, I'm blanking out on some of the other ones, but and just being exposed to the blues for me in those years was really important. I think as a sort of a rhetoric adjustment on my guitar playing, so to speak.
I see it messed you up totally.
It was great. I just have to tell this one quick one about Gary. I was probably like 18 or something, and I was trying to rip it up, and a little, it's just a jam. There's nobody there, and I ripped it. I thought I had ripped it up, and I come off stage, and of course, so Gary, what'd you think of my solo? He's like, too many notes, Dave. Too many notes. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Oh, too many notes. Okay, interesting. And that definitely, and he would play. The thing is, he would play the blues. Between acts, it's not like it was other types of music.
No,
so what was going on?
Blues, yeah.
So it was a lesson. It was a great lesson to bring my playing back down to earth, and then jamming with you.
Yeah.
Who's much more than a blues player, really. So tell.
Just mixture. I'm mixed up.
So let's start from the beginning. So where are you from, and how did you get started in guitar?
Well, originally, I wanted to be a drummer, you know, but we lived on the second floor, and I was so I had my little my little desk with my little thing, and I had two pieces of bamboo sticks, and instead of doing homework, I would put two elastics around it. I'd bang on the books and tin cans, and that was my drumming.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in school, this teacher we had, fifth grade, Tammy Bayliss, who was a folk singer. She had albums out and stuff.
Okay.
Tammy Bayliss, Montreal folk singer.
Okay.
She used to bring her guitar to school and play and get the class to sing, like that side of the class did one part, the other part. So, and I used to sit in the back, and I was always shy. I never wanted to sing because I was, I couldn't sing. I was pretty tone deaf myself.
Well, you're a great singer today, though.
Greek singer.
Great Greek singer.
I learned over the years out of necessity. So she used to, and I used to sit there and sort of try to participate, but I remember getting like shivers. Like the music was like really, really taking me somewhere. And I was like, whoa, So
Yes.
then I wanted to get a guitar. So then eventually I got a little acoustic and started from there, and then I got an electric and, fooling around with friends and learning some chords. And, I remember trying to learn Susie Q, and playing the record over, and I couldn't get it. And a friend came over, he goes, like, it worked much better if you tuned the guitar.
Yes.
Whoa, you got to tune it?
Yes, the tuning, yes.
I was
It's a
like
whole new
completely
concept.
oblivious to everything.
That's right.
So, that's how I started.
Oh.
Then I, obviously, at my age at that time, the Animals, there was all these, there was a whole music scene that was exploding, and then Hendrix came out and
So that must
Eric Clapton,
yeah.
the Cream, and it was like, guitar everywhere,
Yeah, so those must have been real. I mean, obviously, Jimi Hendrix, Clapton, but Jimmy specifically, I would imagine was very important.
Oh yeah. Jimmy was like, for me, it was like, I didn't know what the blues was. So to me, all these guys were coming from the blues. So, when I was hearing people say blues, blues, I finally said, I'm going to go buy a blues album, and I bought Paul Butterfield, and I put it on, and it's like I didn't understand anything about it, but slowly, as time went on, I started, oh yeah, so-and-so and so-and-so and B.B. King and Albert King and, all these guys.
Sorting it out, yeah.
But I was always kind of like the blues wasn't the main thing, My main thing was like this celestial rock with a la Hendrix.
Yeah, which was the popular music, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That was going on.
Exactly.
Which was really fantastic when you think about it. I mean, to have Jimi Hendrix as being, and he was a star in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he was an obscure individual.
No, he was. It's like he kind of took something and did something. Like it wasn't like he was doing something that out of nowhere. He took what there was available and he just did something else with it.
Yeah.
That was totally interesting.
Absolutely.
And eventually I got into, like Alan Holdsworth. These are guys that like changed the guitar seed, like George Benson did the same thing. He changed the guitar. Alan Holdsworth, Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton. All these people changed the guitar scene, like added something that everybody, whoa, that's
Absolutely.
great.
And obviously the passing of Eddie Van Halen not too
Eddie
long
Van
ago.
Halen, yeah.
Another one.
When Eddie came out, I was already a little older, I was not into that kind of music.
Right.
But I could hear, wow, this guy is doing some interesting stuff,
Absolutely.
Which made me feel, yeah, it's great. I enjoyed what he was doing because it was different. He took what there was available and he moved on with it. And plus, he loved Alan Holdsworth, which I was crazy about, you know.
So was I. I had a chance to see Alan Holdsworth perform. I don't know, maybe four times, four or five, and absolute master. Not just master, but I said he took the guitar to another planet, really.
Yeah.
And
he did his thing with it.
He did his own thing, and such a lyrical and fluid style of playing that really had not been heard before at all by anyone.
No. Yeah, he wanted to be a sax player. So when he played the guitar, it was like he was like blowing. His breath was blowing notes, and the way he used the tremolo, and it was like. His soloing was one thing, but when he played melodic things over the chord changes, you could hear, wow, it was just totally amazing and beautiful melodies, you know. And he was a really humble guy. I spoke to him a few times, and he was just like, I mean, he's like, when I listen to this classical piece, he says, I can't listen to it anymore. I cry. He starts to cry because that, you know, music affected him that much.
Absolutely,
you know?
Yeah.
So that, you know, to me that was like, okay. You know? Yeah.
He very, very heavy cat, heavy cat, and there's others, I'm sure. So you went on and you were playing, I guess, and you're in the late '60s, the '70s. Montreal was a very different place. The clubs, the club scene back then.
Yeah, you could play 4 or 5 nights in a bar easily. It wasn't like, okay, Saturday night, thank you, bye. You know, it was like, you know, you guys want a gig? Okay, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, and if you want Sunday, we'll throw it in. You know, but so it was like, there was many places to play. You know,
there were many more places to play than today. Now I know from even the olden years, going back even maybe further back, Tony Romandini, my teacher, one of my teachers, would tell me that we'd play essentially all week.
Yeah.
He was a session guy, but he'd play in the clubs too.
Yeah.
And he'd have a TV thing. He'd have a radio thing.
Yeah,
he'd have a club thing,
busy.
and then after the club thing, there's a jam thing. So they're playing all the time.
Yeah, no, that's how it was, you know. That's how it was.
Well, let's hope that we can bring back a little bit more live music. I mean, there is some, and obviously with the situation, it's obviously lessened a bit. But the venue, it is hard to run a venue. However, I think nowadays to make it make it happen, especially maybe with specialized type of music. It's pretty rough. We're seeing that a lot of clubs are closing or having a rough time. Yeah. But it was happening back then. So you recorded, and tell us some of the recordings you have out, and maybe also links. We'll put any links to any stuff you want to promote in the description. But tell us some of the recordings and some of the highlights.
I started recording in the 70s. I was doing some session work. This guy, Tony Green, and he had a few hits on the French radio station, and I did all the guitar stuff, or most of the guitar stuff on that album. So I you know, sort of got to know the studio scene a bit, you know, and moved on from there and did some other work for other people. You know, I don't have a list of all the people I've sort of done sessions with, but
I'm sure
eventually
it's very long.
I met up with Pagliaro, and I did a session in his studio for this a guy that I knew who was a singer-songwriter, and he wanted me to play guitar. So I went in and played guitar. Pag was there, and he said, "Oh, give me your number. You know, I'd like to use you for some stuff." And so that was it. And he left. He went to France for a couple of years, and I didn't hear from him until he got back. And when he got back, we were playing at a bar on Bishop Street somewhere. I forget. The bar was called, I think, Baker Street on Bishop Street. Anyway, something like that. I can't remember the exact. Anyway, we were playing there, and we had a conga player, John Rudell, who knew Pag, and you know, he was talking. And he said, yeah, I'm playing with Jimmy James. We're playing at this bar. So he came down, and then that's where we started talking. And he said, listen, I'm putting a band together. I want to do this, this, and that. If you're interested, I would like you and your drummer, you know, to come along. John McCulligan on drums.
Yes.
And
yes.
The bass player, he had a bass player already. Eric Bergeron, he was like 20 years old. He was a young kid, you know. He says, oh, yeah, this guy's great, you know. So that was the beginning of that band for that album that we did with him, you know, which was his last album. Unfortunately, it was his last produced album. Everything since then has just been a compilation of this, that, and the other. He hasn't released anything, which is it's a bit sad because, you know, he's got a lot of talent, you know. But
now, why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Right.
He's very touchy about songs, you know. They have to be a certain way, and they have to, you know, work a certain way. And if something bothers him about a song, like he'll work on it, and sometimes when you overwork a song, you kill it.
Yeah.
And then there's you throw it away.
Yeah, it winds up being so far away from the original idea
groove. Yeah.
That you're.
So I think that happened with him, and for many songs, and he kind of maybe lost interest. But I know he still has a studio and he's still doing things.
Okay.
But he hasn't released anything. He's very touchy, but he's a very talented guy.
Wow. Well, let's hope something comes out.
I hope so too.
And any plans for future future recordings? Any touring or possible touring?
Touring? No plans for touring. Recording, I've sort of been messing around a bit. I have 4 CDs. Over the years, I put out 4 CDs. My wife keep telling me, you know, you should record another one, and so I started messing around with stuff, you know, and it's not really focused. It's not this style or that style. It's just stuff that I, you know, started messing around. So it's maybe a mixture of styles and different things, and I'm just kind of looking at it, going, you know, I don't know which direction this is going. That way, or that way. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I'm going to probably do some more recording, and by the end of it, just sort of try to come up with something that has a focus to it, you know, instead of, you know, doing a country song and then this like Holsworth song and this, you know, an album of,
you know,
cuckoo, cuckoo.
You know what? I honestly, I think that nowadays the rules, maybe the old rules don't apply as much, possibly. The format, what slot do you fit in? We got to program you here.
Yeah.
You're this guy. You're that. Who are you? You know, people are putting out, you know, just one song or 2 songs. Obviously, it depends how one wants to promote themselves, but I think the public is don't see things as the industry used to see it.
You're right.
So I would just encourage you to whatever you are feeling. You know, you like the country song, you like the Holsworth, man. It's like what I'll tell you as a fan. Whatever you decide to play, I know it's going to be happening. You know, if you dig it, you know, if you're like which you will.
Yeah,
you know,
you're probably right. I should just forget about my
Jimmy,
insecurities and just go.
I am right. You got to do it. You
heard it from Dave.
I said it right here. So no, really. So I mean that, and we want to hear you know, some music, and we'll post the links in the description.
Yeah,
so if anyone wants to get a hold of some of your stuff, they'll know how to do that. And cool. Well, look. That was great. This was a lot of fun.
Is that it?
It doesn't have to be. We could just.
I don't get to recite my poetry.
Do you have something? You have something for us?
No, I was just joking.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything either. I'm not a poet, and I don't know it. So that's it. So on that note,
cool.
Thank you very much,
That
Jim.
was great.
All right.
Thanks for having
Let's
me.
jam.
Cool.
Right on, man. All right. No, don't get up. Don't get up. Don't get up. Cut.
Noisemakers. Cool. Sleazy Ray James. Should be SRJ. Oh, jazz chord. This is jazz chord. Cool.
Oh man, all right.